Hey, what's up guys? GEARSrx here, bringing you another GEARSrx video. This week I wanted to talk a bit about map control and map awareness. I don't know about you guys, but probably half of my deaths come from being shot in the back, meaning somebody has snuck up on me. I didn't know they were there. I just wasn't aware of where my opponent was. So I wanted to talk about this, and in doing so, I've made a goal, and I'm actually focusing on it for the week. And I would suggest that you guys do something like this if you're having similar trouble. But the goal is to not be shot in the back during any of my games. So that's going to change my gameplay quite a bit. It's important for me to know where all my opponents are. I'm not going to be quite as aggressive because I have just this one goal, and that's what I'm focused on. And once I get this down, I will then focus on other goals. So the way I've been playing this is I'll watch where my teammates go. Oh, let me actually interject. The number one way to take control of the map and be aware is to play with a team of 5 on mics and to talk to each other. There's no other way to beat that. That being said, most of us don't have the luxury to play with 5 people on mics. So when you play on your own, like I'm doing right now, what I do is, as I start out at the spawn, I use my TACOM to see where all my teammates are going, and I look for what flanks are empty or what flanks are unprotected, and I fill that. And it's simply playing defensively and keeping people out of our flanks, and it's made a huge difference. So right now I feel like our weak spot's in the center. We have a guy over at Digger, and most of our team's over at Bell Tower. I see people dying over Bell Tower. I go to give support, and you'll see here in a minute I'll go back to my TACOM. I switch to my TACOM all the time. I want to know where my teammates are. I want to know what they're doing, who's dying, who's alive. So basically, first thing to think about is just your flanks. In a map like Old Town, there are 3 corridors. You have Bell Tower, grenades, and boom or digger, as you can see on the map right here, right? You have 3 different basically your 3 different corridors, and I want to make sure that the enemy can't easily swing through one of these corridors and come behind us all. So I spawn TACOM, see where my teammates are, all in Bell Tower again. Kind of check out the situation a little bit and head over to Digger. So I know this isn't the most exciting gameplay because I'm not in everybody's face the whole time, but it adds so much to the team, and Gears is such a team game that it's just, I mean, it's just super helpful to watch your flanks like this. And you'll see I do alright in this game, and it's just a simple fact of making sure I'm not getting shot in the back. I know where the opponents are. So one thing I want to talk about is sounds in the game, right? You can hear footsteps behind you, so you know someone's sneaking up on you. That's a really big thing. You hear your teammates making calls. You see your teammates spotting. One of the big ones that I didn't think about for the longest time was when Hoffman calls out enemy reinforcements, or when Queen Mara calls it out, right? So if you hear that, instantly, what we know when somebody says that is that people have spawned, right? And generally someone spawns on each team. It's not always the case, but generally someone's dead from each team, and they spawn on that 15-second spawn time, which is constantly going. So when you hear enemy reinforcements, hit your TACOM, spin around, see where your team spawned, so that you know where the enemy spawned. You can't see the enemy, but obviously you can see your team on your TACOM. So wherever your team spawned, the enemy spawned on the other side of that. So that is, I mean, that's a huge thing to be aware of where people are, because there is, in this game, at least in Team Deathmatch, there is spawn flipping. And what that basically means is you have pushed so hard onto their side of the map that the game flips a spawn so that you cannot trap them, right? And I'm going to do an episode on spawn flipping. It's an important thing to be aware of. But basically, I think it's about 3 quarters. I think if you go through like, if I was to go through this hallway up to the top side, that would be considered spawn flip. And you can see my teammates, they know nothing about this, or whether they know, they don't care, right? They're just like running all over the place. causing the spawns to flip. And so I need to be aware that enemies can either spawn topside or low side, depending on where my teammates have pushed. If you play with a team of 5, you can hold this line right in front of the spawn flip and really control your enemy a lot better. But when you're playing with random people, more often than not, the spawn will flip, and you need to be aware of where the opponents are going to spawn. So that is the number one thing. When you hear that reinforcements have arrived, use your TACCOM, find out where they've arrived at. And like I said, I'll do another episode on spawns living. I want to find out where it is exactly on each map. Let's see here. What else did I want to talk about? I want to focus on this a little bit later on, about making goals and focus on these goals in your gameplay during the week. So my goal is don't get snuck up on. So I'm going to play reserved. I'm going to know where everybody's at, and I'm not going to get snuck up on. Once that becomes a natural thing for me to do, I can move on to a different aspect of my gameplay. And I don't know if any of you guys play StarCraft. I used to play a little bit before Gears 3 came out. Kind of a break between Gears 2 and Gears 3, and I used to watch this guy Day9 who would talk about how to improve your game. That was one of the biggest things he would talk about, is watch yourself play. So record yourself if you can, watch yourself play, find your points of weakness. Don't try and fix all of them in one day, but try and fix one of them, basically. So this week, don't want to get shot in the back. Next week, I want to learn how to wall bounce, and so on and so forth. I'll bring you guys more about all this. Thanks for checking out the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll have some more videos for you. I'm trying to pump out at least one a week, and we'll catch you guys next time.